Today we're holding a rally to push the transgender community up. The actions by this current administration have done more to disunite communities in the country, and we need to stand up. We need to stand up for the American people. We need to stand up for any part of the community that is being pushed down.
I've been asked to read a list of some of the people that met their deaths last year, trans women across the country. I always feel uncomfortable doing this, but just bear with me and just remember these are human beings, like their sisters or mothers. India Monroe, Newport News, Virginia. Noonie Norwood, Richmond, Virginia. Sierra Simon Bush, Idaho City, Idaho. Brandy Bledsoe, Cleveland, Ohio. Jazz Alford, Birmingham, Alabama. Crystal Edmonds, 32, Baltimore, Maryland. T.T. Safford, Chicago, Illinois.
I am here before you today for two reasons: to protect trans children and to be a voice for non-binary and for trans-masculine people. I can no longer keep silent in the face of the threat of erasure of trans people from public life once more. That is what this administration wants to do to us. Makes no mistake, conservatives want us barred from public life, from participation in democracy, out of sight and hidden away. This administration decided to take the coward's road towards that goal and attack those who cannot defend themselves against it: children. The removal of the guidance for schools allowing transgender children to use the bathroom that they are most comfortable in is a direct attack on children, and an indirect one on the ability of trans people to take part in public life. Trump has taken away protection from the most vulnerable people in our country and left them even more vulnerable to bullies like him and abuse.
The LGBT community in still many states is not protected in terms of job security, in terms of full equal recognition in each state. We have not reached full equality, and what this does is just set us back even farther. And we can't stand for that. We need to march for full equality, and I won't stop speaking out until the entire spectrum is equal.
The 45th attacked trans people when he attacked immigrants, because there are trans immigrants. There are trans immigrants here. And this is beyond the 45th. This is not about one person. This is about a regime, and a regime that has been placed into power by people, by your neighbors, by your mom, by your dad, by the person that you go to work with. The people voted for the 45th. Our hands are in this. This person did not take power simply because they chose to take power. No, the people gave power. And it is up to us, not just to center one person. It is easy for us to think that the 45th is our only target. No, it is about much more than that. It is about a culture that we exist in that does not center the existence of people of color, of trans people, immigrants, disabled people. Lots of people are at the margins. It is about a culture that we ourselves perpetuate. So I leave you with one thought. I encourage you to have those difficult conversations with your family. I encourage you to challenge when they dehumanize us as trans people. I encourage you to tell them and say, no, enough is enough, and I will not let you attack trans people.
You know, I'm privileged to have been a catalyst for this event. You know, my entire I did not expect it to grow as large as it did, and I'm happy to see the interest that it was able to gain. I knew that we need to hear and recognize trans voices in this community, and I know that they need to be represented greater by the LGBT community. Our trans family of color has been disproportionately brutalized even in this neighborhood, and we need to look forward and stand together and make sure that no segment of the greater spectrum is being pushed down while some of us are being uplifted.
Welcome, my name is Gara. I'm a proud trans woman. Thank you for coming out here to support this community. But this is not about me. This is not really about you. This is about us, together, in unity. And it's about our kids. It's what brought us out here. It's the actions of Trump that motivated us to come out here in protection of our children. As a trans woman that has children of my own, Trump's actions didn't only hurt trans kids, but hurt all kids, like my kids, who have parents that are trans. It hurt my neighbors that have a neighbor that is trans. It hurt my community and my city, and ultimately it hurt this country. I'm not sure if many of you know, but the reason I am here to speak today is about what's going on in Palatine. This is a community in Cook County. We share borders with the trans kids in this community. School District 15 and School District 211 are ground zero for the hate that Trump has brought on our community. There are parents in that community that believe they are protecting. They call themselves parents for privacy. These same parents for privacy want to out transgender kids on a daily basis. This is happening 25 minutes from where we're standing. And you, all of you, if you want to be involved in protecting trans kids, need to mobilize with us. Right. Stand with us. Not in opposition of hate, but in support of our children that are hurting because they hear the voices of hate. They need to hear from us that we love them, that we stand with them, that we're out here today and every day for them.
Trump's executive decision this past Wednesday puts an already incredibly disenfranchised community at greater risk, not only of bullying, but mistreatment by school officials in our public schools here in the country. We can't stand for that. We can't move this country backward. We must always be in one direction, and that is moving all communities forward to full equality and representation.
I do remember being 13, and again, for the first of many times, trying to come out to a friend. I didn't transition back then, not in school. I was much too scared to transition in school, and that weight almost destroyed me. Now, it's been over a decade since high school, and as a trans adult, I've watched as so many young people have risen up to be their true selves. It's been these trans and gender nonconforming young people who in many ways have been at the front lines, advocating for themselves, to their friends, their families, their communities, their schools. It's been these young people who have been leading the way as society has progressed, much too slowly, but nevertheless progressed. And I've been inspired by them.
Unfortunately, today and every day, we hear about violence against transgender people of color. And like I said at the beginning, this is violence against all of us. I want to call Carreri back up here so she can please stand with us in a moment of silence and read the names of our sisters that have fallen in the name of this awful hatred.
Goddess Diamond, age 20, New Orleans, Louisiana. Amos Bede, 38, Burlington, Vermont. Mercedes Successful, age 32, Haines City, Florida. Tyrese Reese Walker, age 32, Wichita, Kansas. Kiana Blakeney, age 22, Brockville, Maryland.
The homicide rate for trans women of color is out of control. This systemic hate-driven oppression and slaughter of our siblings has got to come to an end, and we've got to put a stop to it.
Kadari Candice Johnson, age 16, Burlington, Iowa. DeMarquise Stransbury, age 30, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Maya Young, age 24, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
We also know that when a young African American person who is transgender is killed and thrown into a trash can as if they were a piece of trash, we know that that impacts trans people. We also know that when trans people are bullied inside their schools, we know that that impacts everyone.
In 2017, we've already lost Misha Caldwell, age 41, Canton, Mississippi. Jojo Stryker, age 23, Toledo, Ohio. Jamie Lee Wounded Arrow, age 28, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Kiki Collier, age 24, Chicago, Illinois.
We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.